And as the January transfer window come to a close, Newcastle United are the highest spenders for this transfer window. Wait, what? Newcastle? Yep, you heard that correctly. Newcastle United, the new big spenders of English football or European football on a whole. The team now owned by the Saudis were the highest spenders of this transfer window. Welcome back, viewers and subscribers, to Wizards of Sports. I'm your boy Sports is Greg, and I'm here to dive into the transfer business, all the happenings, the winners, the big losers, Arsenal. Those that establish themselves as challengers for whether it be top four, top six, or wanting to pull away from the relegation zone. So yes, like I said, Newcastle United, and let's start with them. They were linked with quite a few high-profile players, lots of big names. Didn't pull off some of them, but they made some pretty decent signings, some good players that can help them in their fight for survival, and more than likely be a building block for summer if they do stay up. For summer to attract other big name players. Now the biggest of those that they brought in was Bruno Guimaraes from Lyon. He's a Brazilian, 24 years old. He has been on the European platform for a while now, ever since his performances at Under 20 World Cup for Brazil and then at the Olympics. He's been on a lot of teams' radars. Arsenal, Juventus, Tottenham, just to name a few, but Newcastle were successful in securing his signatures, and that says a lot for them in terms of where they're headed and what their intentions are. Now they also brought in Chris Wood from Burnley, their striker, which was kind of surprising that Burnley were willing to let him go, because since Burnley is also in a relegation dogfight with Newcastle, it seems like they were weakening their team, but I guess they had other plans, and Newcastle needed a striker, Burnley needed the money, and the two were able to come to a deal and brought Chris Wood up to the Tyneside in the northeast. So they got Guimaraes, strengthened their midfield, brought in Chris Wood as a striker. They also got Matt Target from Aston Villa, got him on loan till the end of the season, because their defense was probably one of their biggest weaknesses. So Target is a more defensively solid left back than Jamal Lewis is, so that can be considered an upgrade there. Actually, back to the striker position, Callum Wilson is injured and he'll be out for a while, so they were thin up front. So bringing in Chris Wood is, and with the type of football they play, even though it's kind of surprising that Eddie Howe is their coach and they're still playing that kind of football, but yeah, they brought in Matt Target. Also in defense, they bought Dan Burn from Brighton. Now he might not be the most solid centre back, but he's pretty good. And as we know, with Brighton defenders, they're good ball players, and that's the kind of football that Eddie Howe plays. So Dan Burn, good left-footed centre back, so he may be slotting in alongside Jamal Lascelles, or in a back three if that's what they're doing. So those were the additions, or the notable additions to their team. They were also trying to get a young striker from Reims, French striker, but that deal fell through. I'm not sure what were the particulars why that deal didn't materialize, but yes, they were trying to get him as well, but that did not happen. But still, some good acquisitions by them. Dan Burn, Chris Wood, Matt Target, Bruno Guimaraes, and they also got a right back earlier in the window. I almost forgot that they got Trippier as well. So that defense should be more solid right now compared to what it was earlier in the season. And they have they are probably in the top three for goals conceded so far in the season. So that should strengthen their defense somewhat. So good business by Newcastle. Like I said, the biggest spenders right across Europe over the transfer window. Now, also in the drop zone, Burnley, after selling Chris Wood to Newcastle, they went out and got Voighars, the Dutch striker from Wolfsburg. Very good, physical, just like Chris Wood was, 6'5", 6'6" striker, but he's more fleet-footed. Has some speed, has some skills, can take on the odd one or two defender and beat them. So he's a bit different from what Chris Wood brought, but still a good aerial presence for them. So that was a good pickup by them. Kind of surprising that they got a striker like that. So they're also trying to strengthen and try to survive the relegation battle at the end of the season. So good business from Burnley as well. That was basically it for the lower half of the table. In the mid sections, Aston Villa strengthened pretty good. They got Coutinho on loan, and we have already seen him. Saw him against Man United. Came on and ripped them to shreds. Who else did they bring in? Oh, Luca Digne, the left back from Everton. Surprisingly, they were able to keep him from Everton, because Everton is just above the drop zone, basically, about 4 points away from safety right now. But they were able to purchase him from Everton and get Coutinho on loan. So good business out of Aston Villa. Everton, like I spoke about, they lost Luca Digne, but they brought in Dele Alli, got him on a free from Spurs. And they also got Danny van der Beek from Manchester United on loan. So good business out of Everton. Even though they lost Digne, they brought in some good pieces. And they had gotten a good right back at the beginning of the transfer window. He should be starting over Seamus Coleman already. Also, Tottenham, they did some good business. They shipped out Ndombele on loan. It wasn't really working out for him in Conte's system, and they brought in two Juventus players. Bentancur, they brought him in for that midfield. He's kind of similar to the midfielders they have, but I guess he will strengthen that midfield some more. And they brought in the winger Kulusevski. Now it'll be interesting to see where Kulusevski plays. At Juventus, he plays as an inverted winger, cutting in off the right. He has a lethal left foot, a rocket of a left foot, basically. So it will be interesting to see how he plays and how quickly he adapts to the Premier League. I mean, as an Arsenal fan, I'm pretty nervous about that, especially with Spurs being one of the teams that will be fighting for whether it be top 4 or top 6 with. So good bit of business out of Spurs. City brought in one player but loaned him back out. And they also sold Ferran Torres to Barca. Apart from that, City didn't really need to do much business unless it was going to be as per Champions League, if they were focusing on the Champions League. But as per the English League, the squad that they have should be good enough for them. And, them not doing much business wasn't a big worry. The teams that failed to bring in anyone though, West Ham had a last-minute bid for Duvan Zapata of Atalanta, turned down. Man U didn't seem to be in the market for anyone. They weren't linked with anyone. And as for Arsenal, we were linked with basically everybody from January 1st till January 31st. But ended up with no one and shipping out players. We lost our captain Aubameyang and are free with 18 months left on his contract. Still don't understand how that happens. There are people saying that Arsenal saved 29 million worth of salary, but that's not money going into our pockets as the fans. We want to see our team strengthened. So he was shipped out and a replacement not brought in. So now we're left the rest of the season depending on Lacazette, who only has 2 or 3 goals the entire seaon, and Nketiah, who may be leaving in the summer as well, to carry this team through for the rest of the season. We also lost Callum Chambers, sold him to Villa. I forget to mention him amongst the incoming villains. So we sold him to Villa. Ainsley Maitland-Niles went on loan to Roma. And I think that was it for the outgoings. But, kind of weakened the team that was already weakened. Didn't strengthen the positions that we need to strengthen most, which is the midfield and the number 9. So let's see how it works out. But it will be a lot of work, a heavier load for the young players in the squad that have been carrying the team. It will be an even heavier load for them for the rest of the season. So that was it for Arsenal basically. Like I said, Man U didn't seem to be keen on bringing anyone in. I don't know if the manager is waiting until the summer. He must be okay with the squad he has right now. Pogba is coming back from injuries. He was already in training before the international break. So, that is, you can consider, Wenger used to say it and we used to laugh at him, but you can look at it as a new signing for him because he hasn't played under this coach since this coach has been there. So, that's good for them with him coming back. Chelsea didn't make any signings either. That's it, basically. That was the major talking points of this transfer window. I don't know, who would you say were the winners of this transfer? Newcastle, or would you say it's Aston Villa? They were the two that I think brought in the most impact players. We haven't seen the Newcastle players yet. We have seen Villa's new players, at least the 2 main ones. So let's hear the comments. See what you guys think. How did your team do? Are you happy with what the business or lack of business that your team did? Do you think if your team didn't do any business, it would be good to the summer? Or who do you think your team needed to brought in to make an impact in this last push? Would that be for a title chase, a top 4 or top 6 European places? Let me hear it in the comment section. Alright, so thanks again for watching. Continue to like, subscribe, and share. And for now, stay safe, bless up, and have a good rest of your day. Peace.